How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Poolside Cigar Reviews with Kirk. Tonight I'm kicking back about halfway through a Aroma de Cuba Lancero, and I'm pairing that with a lovely, lovely Speyside Scotch. Definitely a favorite go-to of mine, the Aberlour Abuna. Now, this does need a lot of water. It's just shy of 60% alcohol, so usually when I pour this stuff, that's about half water. Not quite half. Maybe I'll take about 2/3 the volume of the Scotch. Yeah, whatever. You got it. It needs water. This cigar, I got this in a special edition box of 10. I don't know how special they were. I think they're everywhere. Right? You can still find them in a lot of shops. But it's 5 Aroma de Cuba Lanceros and 5 San Cristobal Lanceros. If you see one of those, especially if it's reasonably priced, I say pick it up. I think MSRP on that box is like $90. Even in a shop, I think I got mine on sale for like $50. So for $50, steal. I'll take that every time. I've probably had these for 2 years at least, and they've really mellowed down. I would say this is in the mild side of medium. It's a good deep tobacco, good amount of leather. Through the nose you get some pepper, some cedar. Very well balanced, very deep. A little bit of that musty tobacco. Very nice. And when you put that up against a nice Speyside Scotch like this Aberlour, it really is just perfect. This Aberlour is a wonderful pairing Scotch. It's great on its own, but for smoking cigars, I find a lot of Speysides like that. Your sweeter single malts, your sherried Speysides, I think have a broader spectrum that pair really well. I've said it before, pairing's not a rocket science. That's not rocket science. A good drink and a good cigar will almost always go together. But there are certain ones that are really something special, and this Scotch is pairs so well with all kinds of mild cigars, medium cigars, full cigars, Nicaraguan, Cuban, Dominican, Honduran. It's just great. I haven't really found a cigar that this clashes with. Great Scotch. Of course, you love the Lancero Vitola. Burns great. You do have to watch, if you're new to Lanceros and you haven't smoked many, there is kind of a fine line. You have to make sure that you're not overheating your cigar, but you also make sure that it stays lit, because Lanceros can be a little tricky. You can't set them down for that long. They will go out. Generally, again, it all depends on the roll and the individual cigar. Also, certain Lanceros, I believe, are tougher to roll, so you will get the occasional Lancero that's plugged, but for the most part, I think this is a great Vitola, and it really showcases the flavor of that wrapper tobacco. And I like it because it's, it's not a cigar that's going to burn for 2 hours like a Churchill. Some will. Obviously, all cigars are different. Some burn longer than others. But for me, I like the burn time on a Lancero as well. If I'm going to smoke for 2.5 hours, I would rather smoke 2 cigars. I have nothing against smoking for 2.5 hours, but I don't always want to smoke the same cigar for 2.5 hours. Yeah. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening here. We got a good amount of rain, and so I'm just enjoying a cool night. It's about that time of year, hopefully, that we'll start getting some cooler nights. Out here in Tucson, the mornings are still beautiful. I smoke a lot of cigars in the morning. Or I'll sit outside, sometimes before work. I'll set my alarm really early, just so I can, brew a pot of coffee, grab a cigar, and have an hour to myself before my daughter wakes up, before I have to go to work. And I'll read a book, I'll drink some coffee, I'll smoke a cigar. I'll set my alarm for like 4:45. I know some people think that's crazy, but you got to make time for yourself, and that's when I have it. And a lot of times in the evening, it's still pretty hot here. So tonight, it's probably 75 degrees right now, which is just so welcome because it gets so hot in the summer. And of course, on a beautiful evening, nothing pairs better with that than a nice cigar and a nice drink. So hopefully you guys are doing well. Yeah, that's really all I needed to say tonight. Thought I might just share a pairing with you. This goes well. You know, I throw these pairings out there, and they're not necessarily always specific recommendations. It's more just showing you what I'm smoking here and there. So if you're interested in that stuff, also check out my Instagram, check out my Facebook. You know, I put pictures on there from time to time what I'm smoking. Not everything I'm smoking, but the good stuff. You know, if I'm smoking something I think is worth sharing, then I like to share it. And that's what I'm doing tonight. I think this pairing is worth sharing, so that's what I'm doing. So anyway, everybody, I'll go ahead and leave you with that. I won't keep you for too long tonight. But I will suggest, if you're a Scotch drinker, definitely give this Aberlour Abuna a try. And because it's cask strength, it will stretch. So I think this is like maybe a $70 bottle of Scotch, but it'll stretch. And then you know, if you haven't had a Lancero or haven't had many Lanceros, give them a try. I think it's a great Vitola. It's definitely one of my favorites. So anyway, I'll go ahead and leave you with that. So until next time, everybody, make sure to keep your feet in the pool, a drink in your hand, and definitely a cigar in your mouth. Take care.